Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, I have a very dramatic look going on. So today is the part 3 of my bridal series. And today, obviously, we went all out. So I hope that you stay tuned to watch this video. I did have a lot of fun filming it for you. It's definitely, you know, more of an intense look, but it's fun to kind of venture outside of your box and do things different sometimes. So as always, if you like what you see, like my channel. I'll link the details to what I put on my face down below, just because I haven't gone through a full face in a while, and I did do, you know, obviously more contouring. I didn't really do a lot of bronzing. I really did a lot of contouring. Also, real quick, I did use the Styla, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. What are these called? The Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. So that's what I used, and I showed it in my video, so you'll see an up-close version of that. But I did want to show you 2 other products that I use on brides, not necessarily just for, you know, an extreme glam look, but in general, I do use the Urban Decay Heavy Metals Midnight Cowboy. So you can see how sparkly that is. And it does have more of like an eyeliner base tip, I think. So I do use that for weddings. And I also use this ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. It's in Vega. So it's in one of the little pots that they send. And I actually dropped mine last year, so forgive me for how messy it is. But it goes on very sheer if you just tap the top of your finger to it. It's so creamy. That's one thing I love about ColourPop. I don't know if you can really see that too well, but it doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't really give a lot of color, so it helps with the glitter that's in it to kind of just add a little topper to your eyeshadow. Nothing too extreme like I have on right now. So I have on like full glitter on my eyes right now. So anyways, I hope that y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Alright, so today I am using the Jaclyn Hill palette that she collaborated with Morphe on. She collaborated with them probably this time last year, I think, is when I actually purchased this palette. So I'm using in Light and Beam, which are the 2 top colors in the left-hand corner of this palette, and I'm using a Morphe R40 to apply these colors. I'm using this to kind of set the eyelid. I don't think that I actually went in with a translucent powder or a powder foundation after I put my foundation on. So I am going to go ahead and set my eye with these 2 colors. Next, I'm going to go in with the color Silk Cream. It's right beside of Beam in the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm using the Morphe M521 brush for this. It's a little bit denser than the Morphe R40 that I was using for the other 2 colors. And again, I'm just using the Silk Cream to kind of build the contour and the crease of my eye. That way it gives it a little bit more depth for when I go in and start applying other colors. The next color that I'm using in the Jaclyn Hill palette is the color Butter, and it's right below Beam. I'm using a Morphe M441 for this, and I'm just applying it to the outer V of my eye. And I'm using the usual windshield wiper motions, kind of circular motions. I even pat it on just to get a little bit more payoff with the color as well. I'm not taking this color all the way across like I did with Silk Cream, because I want to build that density in the outer V of my eye to kind of prepare us for that smoky look. The next color I'm using is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist palette, and it's the color Beigely. And I know that this is more of a cool tone look, so you're probably wondering why I was going in with the 2 browns that I did beforehand. And like I said, that was kind of just to build the density to prepare for the smoky eye. But this color is more of a gray tone, so it is going to start providing that cooler tone for this eye look. I also was trying to use one palette like I kind of have in my past tutorials, but the Jaclyn Hill palette doesn't really have a cool tone grayish color, so that's why I did have to switch over to the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette to get that gray tone color. I finally looked up the brush that I'm using right here. It's a Morphe E36. I know I've used it in a couple of my videos in the past, but it's actually a detail crease brush, which obviously I never use it for my crease, but I do use it for that more precise application of darker colors. So as you can see, I'm using the Morphe E36 to apply Abyss, this is an actual color in the Jaclyn Hill palette, to the outer corner of my eye. And I'm just going in with a fluffier brush to kind of blend it out once I put it on. And you want to use a fluffier brush to kind of blend darker colors. That way you kind of get that blown out look. You get more of a faded kind of tone, so you don't just have so much color in one spot. The trick to using darker colors like this, whether you're using a black, blue, brown, any darker shade color, is to apply it and then go in with a fluffier type brush and blend it out. It really just takes patience and going back and forth, applying and then blending, applying and then blending. I'm going back in with the Morphe R40 that I used earlier in this video with the brown color, and I'm doing that just to kind of bring a little bit of depth back into this look. Even though I'm blending out the black, you still want to make sure that you get that kind of gradient blown out look, and you're not necessarily gonna get that just by blending the gray and the black. So I didn't add more product, but I did kind of go in and use that to blow out the black a little bit. I also used a Sigma E25 with Abyss on it, and as you can see, I kind of went around from the corner of my eye to underneath my lash line, and I did that kind of just to give it more of an oval shape versus like a distinct cat eye. I wasn't necessarily getting the darkness that I wanted from the Abyss, so I did go in with this kohl eyeliner. You can use any black eyeliner. I just grabbed the one that was sitting on my makeup vanity. But I did use that and then went back in with the Abyss over top of it to blend it out. That way I could get a little bit more of an intense color. So if you're not really getting the color payoff from a darker color that you want, you can always go in with kind of a darker eyeliner and then use that color over top of it to blend it out. And as I mentioned earlier, it just really takes patience with this. So I definitely spent probably a good 10 to 15 minutes just blending this kohl liner and Abyss to get the depth that I wanted for this smoky eye. So again, it's just, applying the color and going back in and blending it out. So again, here I'm kind of doing what I did earlier with the Morphe R40, except I'm using a brush from one of the Urban Decay palettes. I love those brushes. But I am going back in with the color Beigely from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette and just kind of blending the gray and the black right there. Since I already had my face makeup done, I couldn't go in with concealer and fix some of the areas on the outer corners of my eyes that I wanted to. So I'm using a Blotter Rossi by Beauty Blender. So I'm sure you've heard of a beauty blender to apply your makeup with. Well, this is just a I guess like a thinner version of it. And you don't use this when wet, you use it dry. So it's made to kind of go in and fix any mistakes that you may have made or to kind of do some touch-up. So that's what I'm using this for. I used some Laura Mercier translucent powder and I'm going in and just kind of fixing the outer corner because I don't necessarily want that distinct like cat eye look for this. I wanted it to be more of a rounder shape on the corner of my eye. So I'm kind of going in with the Blotterazzi and touching up where I've had some fallout and where it looks a little bit more straight on versus oval. Alright y'all, so we're almost done. I'm using I call it Stila, some people say Styla, but I am using the Magnificent Metals in Smoldering Satin here to get that glitter effect on my eyelid. And I do like this a little bit better than the Urban Decay Heavy Metals just because of the applicator tip. I like how much wider it is, and I like how much more product you're able to kind of put on your eyelid at one time versus having to continuously go back in and get more with the Urban Decay. I do love the Urban Decay Heavy Metal, don't get me wrong, but I do like the Styla Magnificent Metals just because the way that they can be applied. So I do a little bit at a time and then kind of let it dry and then go back in and let it dry just because it is obviously a wet product, so I don't want it to get on my upper eyelid. I went ahead and finished up my other eye. So here I am going back into the Jaclyn Hill palette with the Abyss and kind of blending the Magnificent Metals with the rest of my eyeshadow. So as you saw when I first put it on, there was like that distinct line between the glitter and the eyeshadow, and you don't necessarily want that. You don't want, I mean, that might be the look you're going for. I don't really care for it, so I do like to kind of go back in and blend my colors. And I did go in with more of a nude lip this time. You could definitely go in with like a red lip or kind of like a fuchsia color pinky lip if you wanted to. I just felt like I had so much going on my eyes already that I didn't want to overwhelm y'all with a bright lip as well. I also didn't go in with like any eyeliner and do a winged liner or anything just because I was trying to keep this tutorial in the bridal realm, so I didn't want to do anything too crazy. I'll definitely do a winged eyeliner for y'all at another time, but I did just stay with a neutral lip. I actually used Bare Minerals Sugar Gloss, which is like one of my absolute favorites.